I would encourage people to really look into the penny stocks where you paying a couple dollars, 50 cents or whatever, within 5 or 6 months, that money will flip so fast, you'll be like, what?
Investment in the world today. I'm not kidding you. Better than real estate, better than oil, but
It's a double scam. Everything about money is a double scam.
What's that mean?
The double scam to me is I pay you $1,000. Can we double it in 6 months?
In 2024, basically 2025, one thing that is extremely prevalent is financial advice on the internet, whether that's TikTok or YouTube or whatever. But a lot of the time, it is really not good advice and so questionable, whether it's people promoting their own scams or just giving bad advice just for extra clicks and views and likes and comments. Either way, today we have a selection of a few clips that we're going to go through. I'm going to give my feedback on them, and I want you guys to let me know in the comments below what you guys think of all this. First clip is about penny stock investing, which is basically gambling. But anyways, let's see what he's got to say.
I would encourage people to really look into the penny stocks where you paying a couple dollars, 50 cents or whatever, within 5 or 6 months, that money will flip so fast, you'll be like, what? I've had some opportunities where I got into crude oil. It was fluctuated. It was $3, $2, and I ended up kind of doing my research, and I found a competitor of it. They kind of had the same trend. When I seen them, they were down. One was like 39 cents, so I bought into it, right? I put 50 in both of them. I made like $2.3 million.
Holy crap.
Here's the crazy thing, though. I took some out before, but I waited after a full year because of tax purposes and all that. But I made like 2-1.
Honestly, I actually don't even know where to start with that video. I mean, from, just talking about penny stocks, but then he was talking about crude oil, and he was saying the prices were fluctuating or whatever. All of a sudden he invested $50 and that become 2.1, more modest amount, $1 million. And I don't even know what really was going on there. But first of all, penny stocks really are essentially gambling. You don't really know much about these companies unless you're somehow on the board or something. Then it's maybe worth investing. But normally these companies are just gambles. But then, I mean, the crude oil example, maybe he was doing options or something. I just don't understand how $50 could possibly turn into 2.1 million. Maybe I'm just not as talented or not as well versed as him, but that seems absolutely ridiculous. And I don't know, it feels like he's just telling this story just to tell this story and get a reaction, because I don't even think he's selling anything off the end of it. It's just, I don't know, it seems like he's just doing it for the sake of it. I don't know the person himself, but I was looking at the TikTok comments for that video as well. And yeah, people were just laughing at this guy, saying he's terrible and you should never take financial advice from him. So at least the comment section knew what they were talking about. But yeah, definitely stay away from penny stocks unless you somehow have a really good idea of what's going on. Now, next up, we do have Robert Kiyosaki, and I did read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I thought it was a really good book and definitely changed. However, since then, he's kind of dropped off the credibility scale, and a lot of people don't really think he's doing a good job at the moment. And I think this video is just another example of one of those things. But anyways, let's go in and we'll talk about it after.
the best investment in the world today. I'm not kidding you. Better than real estate, better than oil, better than gas is silver.
All right.
Because I'm giving you early warning. This is going down.
I hear you.
When this goes down, the rupee goes down with it.
Okay. All right.
So if you want to get rich, get silver today. Best investment of all. This is $35 US.
Okay. Do you have life advice?
That's it. The best investment.
Anyways, the ending is a bit funny, but yeah, so I mean, ultimately the thing, I mean, first of all, he's talking about saying real estate isn't a good investment when that's kind of he made all his money, and real estate is definitely still a good investment, maybe not as good as it was in terms of appreciation, but you can still make a lot with like getting to use leverage with a mortgage or rental income, stuff like that. What's interesting is, for some reason, he's kind of went on the silver hype train, kind of given up on gold, which has definitely outperformed silver. He just randomly kind of picks that. Maybe he thinks it's undervalued. But then I also know nowadays he's really talking about Bitcoin a lot. So it kind of seems like he just, every few years picks a different investment, and he's also calling for a stock market crash like every year. He like tweets about it. But I will say the one thing he did mention that is definitely true and everybody needs to be aware of is he is talking about the US dollar going down. And that's happening for every fiat currency around the world. So if you do have any amount of savings or stuff like that, you do really want to be investing. I'm not going to tell you what to invest in or where to invest and stuff like that. But having idle cash is kind of guaranteeing that your money is depreciating and you are losing out. So even if it's just a high yield savings account where you have no risk, it's just make sure your money is doing something, just not sitting at 0% in the bank. Now this next video is a little different because it's actually like trading advice, not investing advice, but it follows the same trend and just a ridiculous video in my opinion. Let's hop in and we'll talk about it after.
Show us how to trade. Of course, I got you, bro. In order to trade, you gotta look at some charts. We're gonna go to Google and type in trading view. Next part's simple, just pick anything that you want to trade. Crypto is pretty dope, so we're gonna do Bitcoin. So before placing a trade, you need to figure out what the heck's going on. To get a better idea, I placed down some key levels. Pretty much an area which is acting as resistance and also support. And it looks like Bitcoin, it's actually trading inside this zone perfectly. This funky looking blue thing, that's actually a trend line, acting as resistance in the past, and now it's actually supporting the price. Now this part, it's probably the most important. Now that we have this all charted out, we're going to come up here to indicators, and we're going to use the relative strength index. Once you click it, you're going to see this purple looking thing at the bottom of your screen. You can see that when the price tanked right here, it actually came underneath that purple zone. That means the price is oversold, and this would have been a perfect buy. Not only was Bitcoin extremely oversold, but on top of that, it was coming up on this heavy level of support. Anyone that got in made over 8% in under 1 day. I just launched my own crypto, so if you guys want to check that out, peep the comment section.
I mean, that could be the best part of this whole video. He like is great at trading, and then conveniently he has launched his own crypto, which, you know, it's just the icing on the cake. Now, when it comes to trading, I do think probably some people can do it. I know there is certain indicators and like resistance, support, stuff like that, and he uses like the RSI. But ultimately, very, very few people make money trading. If it was that easy, just pull out a chart, just make a quick 8%, you know, and then just go off. Like, everybody would do it. Everybody would be super rich, and it would just be great. But the reality is, it's way harder than that. And yeah, if you, I suppose, wanted to get into it, you could, like, properly study it. But even then, I'd argue it's still gambling. But as I'm not that well versed in trading, and I just much prefer passive long-term investing, I'm not going to speak too much more on it, but what you really need to not do is buy any random crypto coin like that some influencer is just preaching about with nothing else. Like, that is just a terrible investment and not going to end well whatsoever. Now, I actually forget the name of this investor, but I do know he is like pretty well known and has a big following. But this is an iconic TikTok. Let's just get into it.
It's a doubles game. Everything about money is a doubles game.
What's that mean?
The doubles game to me is I pay you $1,000. Can we double it in 6 months? No. How long? In 12 months? Okay, no problem. I'll do a double in a year. Here's $1,000. I get a double back, right? So if you take 1,000 and you double it every year, what happens? 1,000 goes into 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 256, 5, 12, $1 million. $1,000 is 9 doubles away from $1 million.
Wow.
Now you take $1 million and see what happens if we double it 9 times. 1 million goes into 2 million, 4 million, 8 million, 16 million, 32, 64, 128, 256, 5, 12, $1 billion. $1 million is 10 doubles away from $1 billion.
How do you find the doubles?
Well, that's the game. That's the part of the game. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So the doubles now becomes investment opportunities. You know what?
I mean, okay, yeah, just double it. Just, you know, double it 9 times. You got $1 million. Do it another 9 times. You got $1 billion. And now you're a billionaire. Like, you know, what more do you want? I give you $1 billion. I mean, it's spectacular. I think it's an absolute banger. Like, that is so ridiculous. Like, and to even say that you're going to get 100% return in a year. Now, to be fair, maybe in like an opportunity in like private equity or something you really know is going to take out. But like, doubling your money consistently is so beyond difficult, and either takes a ridiculous amount of luck or most likely time. But like, he's acting like you can just like pull out all these doubling money deals. Like, honestly, sounds like a scam, like back on RuneScape. very few people are going to get that reference. But anyways, it's so ridiculous. Like, you can't just double your money. And then I love how the podcast host does at the end. He's like, okay, and so how do you double it? And he's just like, well, that's the game. And I'm like, cool. You give no helpful advice at all. You're just like, yeah, just double your money. Yeah, absolutely insane. Now, this last TikTok is actually about kind of like options trading, which once again, super risky. But let's have a quick look at it anyways. It's not that long.
What the fuck is your $200 in stocks gonna do? I'll...
Now, it kind of shows this account, right, going up from $200 to like $3,000. Maybe you can do that in options trading, but like, once again, completely risky and is very similar to like gambling. $200 initially is not going to make a lot of return in the stock market. Everybody knows that. But if you invested like $200 a month, say, compounded 8% a year over, 20, 30, 40 years, all of a sudden you're looking like high 6, even 7 figures. So it's really about just consistency in like safer investments and just letting time do its thing. But yeah, options trading, another one of those things that you'll probably hear people talk about or might get like picked up on things like TikTok, just like this. I mean, I can look here in the comments and, people are just like saying like you can do it, like turn $200 into $100K in 3 years. Like, I don't really believe it. Maybe they have, and I'm sure some people have. My favorite actually is the top comment here saying, lol, that's nothing. I turned 20K into 1K. It's the age-old joke. How do you become a millionaire? Well, you start with 10 million. Anyways, terrible joke. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, it is my first one on this channel. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought about the TikToks, but also any advice from me, things you liked or disliked, feel free to comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one.